Yeah, I guess we are live now. Yep. Let's wait for 2 minutes for everyone to join in. Let me also join from my another device so that I can see your comments and everything. Okay, some people are here. How are you guys doing? Keep the chats alive so that we know you guys are here. Okay, I guess we can start with our session. Great. So, hello everyone. Welcome to yet another session of Flutter Festivals by GDSC VIT. I am Jeevan Johan Verghese and I'm the facilitator for Flutter Festivals this year. So, this is our third session for Flutter Festivals, and today we're going to have an exciting session, I hope. It's going to be an interactive session with two amazing people that they have real experience in app development. So they will be sharing their valuable experience in their journey in app development and also how to work in an actual environment, actual production environment as an app developer. So we will be having two people joining with us today for the session. Yeah, so before we welcome them to the stage, let me know in the chats how are you guys doing? Are you guys excited to meet those people? Also, keep the chats alive. If you have any questions or anything, uh, you post it there. At the end of the session, we will take those questions to the speakers so that they can answer your queries. Feel free to post your queries or any questions or anything that you want to know in the chats. Great. So let me welcome the speakers of the day, Siddharth Verma and Ritik Jain. First of all, thanks a lot for joining with us today. Welcome to Flutter Festivals. So, how are you guys doing? Let's ask Siddharth first. Hi, Siddharth. Welcome to Flutter
Hello,
Festivals. How are you doing?
I am good. So glad to be here after a long, long time and super tired today. I had a long day at work.
Oh, I see. Where are you right now?
I'm at home
Which
right
place
now.
are you
So,
in?
Noida, Delhi.
Noida. Great, great.
Yeah.
What about you, Ritik? How was your day? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Like today's day was again same like Siddharth, it was super tiring, but for me it was for different reasons. Mostly because we are back on campus again and like the pain of attending all the offline classes and just being out the whole day is super tiring and experience. we are back on campus again and like the pain of attending online.
Yeah, that was my mic. Sorry. Cool. So,
Also,
uh,
I think Ritik is stuck.
oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, same,
I
same.
think I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You were telling something?
No, I think you can continue, Jeevan.
Cool, cool. So today, we would like to start with knowing your story of being a Flutter developer. Like, how did you get started? This is what like everyone would like to know. Like, how was your first step? Like, when did you start doing Flutter? That's the first question that I have for the day. Let's ask Siddharth first.
right. So for me, actually, one of my friends had told me about Flutter. Like 1 week before DEF CON happened in Bangalore in I think 2019, and I was very excited to learn Flutter because it seemed really cool at that time. But unfortunately, I was late to the session, so I couldn't enter. So after that, I planned, okay, never mind, I'll learn it on my own. So in my second year, I started learning Flutter, and I learned it completely like from the docs, from the random YouTube videos that were there. It was pretty new at that time, so not a lot of good content was there, but I still like the docs that are with Flutter. It was pretty good, and plus the cookbooks that Google developers had made, those were also very helpful in learning Flutter.
Oh, nice, nice. Also, I forgot to share my screen. Like, I will share my screen right now. If you can see the screen, let me know in the chat. I guess it should be visible by now. Yep. So as we saw, these are the two speakers for the day, Siddharth and Ritik. So Siddharth has done a lot of freelance works and also internships in Flutter, and right now he's a software engineering intern at Grow. And Ritik is the founder of Spike app, and he has also a lot of experience in Flutter as well as native Android. So we will be asking about their experience and their journey as an app dev today. So we were asking Siddharth how did he get started with Flutter. Now let's hear Ritik's story. Ritik, how did you start with Flutter? So I guess both of you started with native and then moved on to this Flutter, right?
No, actually, for me, it was the opposite. So I got started with
Oh,
Flutter and then I moved on to native.
nice, nice. What about you, Ritik?
So for me, I started with native. I had been doing native for about 5 to 6 months, and
Mhm.
I felt it was pretty good. Like I was able to make the projects that I was working on in native. But one day, like I was hearing about Flutter, and I was like,
Oh, I guess there is some connectivity issues. Like,
sorry, am I audible now?
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
audible now.
so I heard about Flutter and about like how easy it is to make UIs with it. So I decided why
Mhm.
not give it a try. So fun fact, I tried Flutter for the first time in a hackathon,
Oh,
and
nice.
it was a amazing experience. Like I learned it during a hackathon, so that was super fun to do. And I just then I just kept making projects with Flutter and just kept getting better at it.
Nice. So both of you have the opposite pathway, right? Siddharth started with Flutter and went to native. Ritik started with native to Flutter. That's nice. We will tell more about this pathways in a few moments. So apart from coding, what are your other interests? Ritik, what are your other areas of interest?
So other areas of interest would be one, I'm a beatboxer too, so I
Mhm.
beatbox, and second would be like I'm also a speed cuber.
Oh,
So yeah,
nice. Okay, so would you like to do some beatboxing for us right now?
sure. I mean, why not? I'll just drop a freestyle.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Too good, man.
nice.
Too
That was
good.
great, man.
I think we've had almost every session, every live we have been on. Like Ritik has
Exactly. Yeah, this is how we make the session live. Like we make the dry sessions alive by everything beatboxing. Cool. Yeah, about you, Siddharth. I know you make amazing reels and all. I'm telling you guys, like, I'm in love with this man's reels. So,
Thank you
yeah,
so
what
much.
are your other areas of interest?
Mostly photography and cinema. I like watching a lot of movies. I watched Batman recently, and I would recommend everyone to like go through the whole 3 hours long movie and like see it properly. Is
Oh,
not to be
nice.
missed. It's a very very good movie.
Cool, cool. So we have a few questions left. So before we move on to the questions, let's quickly go to a fun activity. I'm calling this a pick one round. Okay. So right now I will ask you there will be four questions and there will be two options. Like there are no, these are not questions, only options. Like you will get two options, you have to pick one from them. So that's the activity. First one I will go with Siddharth, the next one will be with Riddhi, like that.
Okay.
So you will be, both of you will be answering all four, but randomly I will ask any one of you. So you will have only 3 seconds to select one. You don't need to tell any reason or anything, but after selecting all these stuffs, I will ask you why you chose those. Also, for the audience who are watching this, after these both of them picks their favorites, you will also get an opportunity to pick your favorites. I will share you a link. You can go to that link and do the poll. Cool. So let's start with Ritik. Uh, you have two options. This is related to UI: dark theme or light theme.
Dark theme.
Dark theme. What about you, Siddharth?
A dark theme all the time.
Dark theme. Cool.
Yep.
Next, I will ask you, Siddharth, a curved or a flat button or a design in general.
I think it depends. It's very difficult to choose, but I think I'll go with the curved button, like curved
Curved.
designs in
Cool.
general.
And Ritik?
I think I'd say curved because it's, yeah, I'll justify it later. It just, yeah, I
Yeah,
think curved.
curved. Cool. Now I have two other options: declarative or imperative programming. Ritik
uh, I'd say declarative.
and Siddharth?
Declarative, anytime.
Declarative. Next one, I know obviously what would the answer be, but still I'm asking it: open source or licensed? Siddharth.
Open source.
Ritik?
Open source.
Nice. Now I will ask you a controversial question: React or Flutter? Ritik?
I'd say Flutter. Honestly, I'd say Flutter.
Siddharth?
I'm compelled to go with Flutter.
Nice. It's so nice. Like, I would be really sad if you say React in a Flutter Festival session. Nice. I will just share the link of this poll to in the chat box so that you can audience can also poll that. Might take a few seconds. I hope you guys don't mind. Like, there is a slight delay in the stream, right? So, might take a few minutes. I'll just copy the link and paste it in the chat box. 1 second. Okay, so I have posted the link to the poll in the chats. Okay, let me know when you guys have joined the poll in the chat so that I can start the poll. To join in. Yep, last 10 seconds. Okay, I will open the poll now. You can either go to this link or just go to this vvox.app and enter this ID. Then you will be able to join the poll. I will start the poll right now. Okay, so the first thing is dark theme or light theme. The same questions. Yep, I'm waiting for more responses. Nice, let's see the results for this. Okay, dark theme 87.5%. Nice. Light theme is around, light theme is also increasing. So I would say my personal favorite is light theme. So, yep. We will move on to the next question. Curved or flat? Let's see. Oh, 50-50 we have right now. Let's see who's going to win. Am I still audible? Like, because I can't see the StreamYard screen right now. Ritik, Siddharth. Okay, it seems like curved is the winner here. Nice. We will go to the next question right now. Declarative or imperative? Declarative 100%. Let's see. %71% declarative, imperative around 29%. I'll close this in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Nice. Declarative is the winner here. Okay, this will be the final question of the poll. Open source or licensed? Quick. Let's see. Open source 100%. We have someone who likes licensed also. Nice. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Cool. So open source has 100%. Nice. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for your responses. Let's get back to Siddharth and Ritik.
Hello.
Yep. Okay, so I couldn't see the screen, so I didn't know that you guys left. I mean, you guys were in the backstage. Cool. Okay, so I have a few more questions. Let's get back to some questions. We will have one more of these sessions, but it will be a different thing. Yep. Cool. So I would like to ask you, what is the career scope for a Flutter developer? Like, I have also one more question connected to that. Like, is the development of Flutter affecting the opportunities of a native developer?
Right.
Siddharth, would you like to answer that?
Sure. So first, career perspectives. I think if you're applying to a startup or a early stage company, it's a good chance that you get a Flutter job over there, and a lot of companies that are outside India, like international offers. There are multiple international offers for Flutter developers. But in bigger companies, especially in India, there's not much scope because it's kind of ironic because like Flutter has lowered the bar of getting into app development so much that companies would rather try to spend some more time with their existing employees and try to teach them Flutter because it's that easy to learn that they can also learn it very quickly. So there was this blog I was seeing by Gojek how uh, like they're a team of 5-10 people, and one of them started with Flutter, and then that person taught the rest of the team about Flutter, and they made a proof of concept app with Flutter. They integrated Flutter into their existing code base. So
Oh,
it's that easy. That's why there are less jobs for Flutter developers right now, but I think it'll increase.
great. So about the importance of native development, like is it necessary that we should learn native before cross platform? Like in your case also you said like you started with cross platform, so how important is it? Like there should be a doubt in everyone's mind who would like to get started with app development. So what they will ask is, should I start with native Android or native iOS, or should I start with Flutter? So what are your opinions about that?
So I would say that doesn't matter what you start with. It's important that you start first. But like Flutter, if you're doing Flutter, I mean, I would say it's always good to know native Android development too, because from personal experience, there have been like multiple instances when I've used my native Android knowledge in like fixing something in Flutter, or like because at the end of the day, Flutter is going to work on a native platform, and it has some libraries that it depends on, which are
Hmm.
written in Kotlin or Java in like the Android framework. So having a knowledge of the Android framework and native development will obviously help, but that shouldn't stop you from like getting into Flutter. It doesn't matter if you get into Flutter first and then you catch up with native Android. But I
Okay,
just
so
feel it is important to native. It's important to know about native Android too.
yeah, so we can, I think we can say that knowledge of either of these would help learning the other, right?
Yeah, yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. So I think like when I got started with Flutter, I a lot of concepts are very new to me, so I had to spend some time to learn those concepts first, like uh, uh, as basic as how to make a network call and then manage the state based on the responses. So if I would have
Mhm.
had knowledge of native, I would have been able to do it like properly and very easily.
Great. So yeah, this would be another question in a person's mind who is going to get started with Flutter. Like, what should be a pathway to learn Flutter? So how should I get started and then move on? Like, how should I get into the progress? What would you suggest? Like, can you briefly explain a pathway, how to get started and how to get progress gradually?
Through GDSCVIT's Flutter sessions right now, the Flutter Festival, that'll be
Nice.
cool. And other than that, I think you should follow the blogs written by developers, Google developers that are there. I think it's called Flutter Cookbook. And third is Resocoder. I think these three are pretty good.
Okay, so once we get a basic idea about connecting to an API and building a layout, like if you get a design, you're able to make the layouts, then you are able to call an API. What should be the next step? Like, what should we focus on? Like, should we be focusing on some architecture patterns or something? Uh, yeah, talking about architecture patterns, which one do both of you follow, and how important is it in an actual production environment?
So, as for the first part of the question, which was like, what do you do after you have learned the basics of Flutter? I'd say you get into building a project, because you can just get in the loop of learning things and never actually implementing them. I've seen a lot of people, they just keep going through videos, but at the end of the day, you're not like implementing anything, or you're not actually learning how to use those concepts. So I'd say as soon as you have learned something, just build a project. Like there are so many problems you would face. Like I'm pretty sure you can think of like so many things which you want to improve. I'm not saying come up with an original idea or something. Just maybe if it's like a to-do app, just improve it or like add a new feature to it. So I'd say
Cool.
get into
So
building a
once you're
project.
done with the basic, get started with projects, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Also about architecture uh, patterns. Would you like to
Siddharth,
say
would you like
something
to
about
answer?
that? Yeah, Siddharth.
It's very difficult to answer because like the Flutter team does not provide you with any specific architecture patterns. So
Mm-hmm.
personally, what I've done is I've gone through a lot of code written by people who are actually working on Flutter, and I've tried to see how they architect their apps, and I've tried to implement something similar. Sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
scales out, but sometimes it doesn't scale out very well. So there's no specific pattern as such right now, but whatever helps you getting started with it and like maintaining it is probably good enough. I mean, architectures, like, it's something that will keep changing over time, so you can't have a fixed thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Got
what
it.
Siddharth said, adding on to that, native Android likes Google suggests that you should be using MVVM. That's the
Mm-hmm.
support. That's the suggested and like the most widely used architecture in native Android.
Yeah.
But like in Flutter's case, like there's not a particular architecture which Google actually promotes. So the thing is like also like understanding that not getting stuck at the architecture part is also pretty important because sometimes you get so nitpicky about it and you'll
Mm-hmm.
probably end up changing the architecture in the end because I mean me and Siddharth have worked on a couple of projects together and there was a phase when we were discussing so much about architecture, which one should we go and which one will scale. But in the end I think what matters is whichever like allows you to develop at pace and will allow you to uh, move ahead like with while maintaining the project. So also me and Siddharth just looked at like multiple architectures and we just took out the best parts of all of them and we just combined them. So I think we can say we made a new architecture. But yeah.
Nice, nice. So let's quickly have a fun round right now. Then we will get back to a final set of questions. Nice. So let me share my screen once. I hope it's visible. Yeah, I'm gonna call this round rapid fire, and you got 10 seconds. I think you can keep them in the stream itself, like Siddharth and Ritik, so that I can hear them. So because I want to hear their responses. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So I'm going to call this round as rapid fire. And in this, I will ask you guys three questions are there. You have 10 seconds to answer. Uh, of course, whoever is going to answer second will get some time to think, but don't worry, the next question will be to them. So I have three questions. First one is for Siddharth. Let's start. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Tell any five Flutter apps that are available right now on Google Play or App Store or anything. Five, or
uh,
let's say three. Three is fine. Like Ritik should also get some.
okay. So the first one is obviously Google Pay.
Mhm.
Second would be, I think, Google Analytics is also a great app in Flutter.
Okay,
Third, probably the Hamilton app that they made like a while back.
cool.
Not
Now
Hamilton.
it's
Yeah.
Ritik's turn. Tell me three
Yeah.
other
So
apps.
front row is made in Flutter. uh,
Okay.
and I think the BMW's official app on the console of their
Hmm.
cars is made in Flutter.
Yeah,
And there's this note journaling app called Reflectly, which is made in Flutter too.
yeah, yeah. Cool. So that was really quick. Great job. If you ask me, I would say DevJam's app was made in Flutter. Nice.
Yep.
So next question is for Ritik. List out any three features of Flutter that you like.
The declarative UI,
Okay.
hot reload,
Okay.
and I would say Uh, 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 hmm. I'd say like the debugger. That's pretty. You can visualize trees and the widgets
Yeah.
inside of the
Widget
app in
inspector.
real time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Siddharth?
First, like the engine and how it actually there is a like the Dart code is compiled into assembly level code, and that is very quick to like execute. That is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Second would be and writing animations, like the code for animations is pretty easy.
Hmm.
Third would probably be again like declarative UI. That's one of the biggest selling points.
Yep. Nice. So I have a final question. First, I will go with Siddharth. Mention any two things that you cannot achieve in Flutter without native code.
Okay. So I think I might go overtime on this, but I was trying to make a password manager. It was one of my freelance slash internship works.
Mm-hmm.
So over there, when you're in some other app and then you have to enter the password. So Google provides this possibility that you can have a custom password manager, and that
Mm-hmm.
opens up a pop-up which where you can select your actual account ID and password.
Mm.
So this is really difficult to implement in Flutter because Flutter starts rendering over an activity of a native application.
Oh, okay.
And when you have to render like a partial screen, just like a dialog box or something,
Mm-hmm.
it's not very optimized, so it's very difficult to implement it that way. There are
Okay.
very, there are obviously very a lot of workarounds. It is
Mm-hmm.
very much possible, but it's really difficult to implement. That's one thing.
Cool. And Ritik?
Anything to do with services, I'd say like foreground or background services is quite difficult to achieve with Flutter. Like only Flutter. There is
Yeah.
obviously ways to like integrate with the native code, but only with Flutter it's quite difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing would be again like implementing external libraries like camera APIs or any external library that Google provides. So it's not like that people have built wrappers around it, but that might
Mm-hmm.
not always suffice the use case that you would want it for.
Great. So the rapid fire round was really rapid. Like you guys answered in like few seconds. Yeah, that's why we call you guys pro devs. Nice. Cool. Next thing, what I would like to ask you is, could you tell us about any of the Flutter projects that you worked on? Like any of the major projects, you can tell us about your experience in developing that project. We'll go with Siddharth first.
So, couple of them. I think the last two projects I worked on was Nearcast app and then Hope House.
Mm-hmm.
So one good thing about Hope House, I don't think is released like right now, but it'll be released soon, hopefully. Um, Over there, I used a lot of CodeGen. So I had actually been wanting to use CodeGen since a long time, and I couldn't get the opportunity for making an app which actually benefits from CodeGen. So in Hope House app, I tried a lot of CodeGen, and that was really helpful for developing it very like fast.
Nice, nice. And what about you, Ritik? Would you like to tell us about your Spike app?
Uh,
Of course, I think
One
it's made
second,
in
I think
Flutter,
there's
right?
a issue with the stream. Just,
Oh, is it?
I think the stream ended. Mm, can someone confirm if we are still live?
Yeah, I think it's. I think we are live. Uh, I can see the
Yeah, yeah, we
screen.
are like.
Okay,
I
okay,
think
cool.
there is an issue because like one person messaged me that they couldn't see my screen. But yeah, I think it's a YouTube issue, not an issue from our side.
Okay, it's working. All right,
I
cool,
think
no
it.
problem.
I think we restarted right now. I think we can continue.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
Sorry for that technical issue. So yeah, Spike was made in Flutter, and so the reason I decided to go with it because was mostly because of the cross-platform functionality. Like, I mean, if I wanted to develop Spike, I always knew like Spike had to be on iOS too. So I was like, why not just use Flutter to develop it? So I went ahead with Flutter, and it was a roller coaster ride. Like because it wasn't a very simple app, and it involved like video playback and
Mhm.
video recording. So it was all like complex tasks. But I mean, I'd say at the end, Flutter handled it quite well, and I was very impressed by the performance of the app. We were able
Mm.
to integrate. other APIs like Agora, SDKs like Agora, and we also implemented something similar to Clubhouse. So at the end
Nice.
of the day, we were like very happy with how Flutter performed, and we were able to replicate all of the behavior which we had on Android on iOS too. So that was really amazing to see.
Okay, connecting to that, I have one question. Like when you start a project or when you think of a project, how do you decide should I choose native for this or should I go for cross platform? How is the decision process?
Yeah, for me, I think I always go with Flutter first because of the easy prototyping. I can build a basic POC application in Flutter, and
Mhm.
then if needed, I can transition it to native. So easier to start out and build a prototype that you can share with your users, a kind of an
Mhm.
MVP, which you can
Okay,
share with your users, and then get feedback on it, and then move it to native when you think that you need more performance out of your application, and the code base is getting bigger and bigger.
nice, nice. Okay, so I have another question. Like, how has your app dev skills helped you in your career? Like, when you're looking for internship or anything, how does it help? Like, your app dev skills in particular.
Yeah, so I feel app dev and like web dev, they're pretty complicated things. They seem pretty easy, like because the end user can only see the UI of the app, but the entire logic that goes behind it, the entire business logic part of it, is
Mhm.
huge. Like there is a lot of decision making that happens which the user isn't even aware of. So I mean, like from app development, you learn a lot of things like how reactive pattern works, and which like other tech, which people who deal with other technologies might not like come across at such an early stage, because it's quite a advanced topic. And like in like app development, we come across it pretty quickly because it's the core of building apps.
Just to
Nice.
add on to that,
Yeah.
I think like this, a lot of stuff you learn in Flutter also implies to React if you're learning React, and then a lot of stuff you learn in native, such as dependency injection, which is not so prevalent in Flutter, also applies to when you're working on bigger code bases, whether be it app or backend or frontend. So DI is very difficult to implement, but then if you have some experience with dependency injection, it's very easy to understand.
Nice, nice. So, how is your current work going? Like, are you doing app dev there or any other thing that are you doing at Grow right now? If you can
So
share with us.
yeah. So I'm not doing app dev, but I'm doing backend at Grow.
Oh,
And fun
nice.
fact, Grow does not use Flutter, although they
Okay.
do have plans to like implement some projects in Flutter. But
Uh-huh.
right now, the code base like for the application is React Native, not Flutter.
Okay, cool, cool. Cool. So I guess we are reaching towards the end of the session. So in case any of you guys have any questions to ask them, feel free to post it in the chats. We will wait for some time so that they can answer your queries. There might be a
Ruslan,
slight delay in the stream. So
yeah. So
yeah,
Ruslan
Sid.
mentioned the idea and app is in Flutter. We forgot.
Exactly. Yeah. Same. Okay, so I said that I will ask you about the reasons for choosing in the pick one round. So I will do that right now. So, what do you prefer, dark theme or light theme? So I know it's a personal choice, but if you have any reasons in particular.
So for me, like I'm indoors most of the time, so dark theme helps my eyes mostly.
Oh, nice,
Mostly
nice.
that.
What about
For
you,
me,
Ritik?
it's like actually that's why I took some time to think about like the answer, because in some apps I like light theme and in some apps I like dark theme.
You get your voice just got stuck.
Yeah, sorry. For some apps I like light theme and for some apps I like dark theme. So I couldn't really decide, because like like white, like the light theme gives me a little more positive energy than like some dark apps. So like I just can't decide. It's like depends on my mood. I keep switching on my phone too between light app and
Yeah,
dark
for
theme.
me also it's same. Like when I'm designing something, mostly doing light theme only, but I equally like dark theme. Like for me, designing in light theme is comparatively easier.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
that I understand. It is.
cool. Then we asked about open source and license. So how important is open source? So that's an important thing that everyone should know. Like how important is the open source culture?
Ritik, would you like to go first?
Yeah. So it's I think it's amazing like being able to see the source code of something, because let me take an example. So when I was working on Spike, I had to implement the video feed, but
Mhm.
something in the library which I wanted to use wasn't like according to what I wanted to, and I wasn't able to change it through the API that they had provided. So the way I did it, I forked the repository, made all the changes to that particular native code, and then I included in my Flutter project, which was possible because the library was open source. If it was licensed, there was no way we could have made any sort of changes or customized it.
Oh, okay. Nice. Siddharth, would you like to add something?
I think what Ritik mentioned pretty much clears why open source is needed. So other than that, it's mostly yeah. For me personally, it's just like one is getting to read a lot of code that is out in public, and second is like there's a personal satisfaction. That's a more personal opinion, but like if you are actually, it's a like giving back to the community kind of thing.
Nice, nice. So I guess we can wrap up for today. Like there is one question: is VIT an app made using Flutter? That's already answered. Cool. So yeah, once again, thanks a lot, Ritik and Siddharth, for joining with us today and sharing your very valuable experience. Like everyone who makes an app or into an app development would really like to know how this works in a real life example or in a production environment. So yeah, it was really nice talking to both of you. Thank you so much once again for joining with us today. So where can people reach out to you? Like, can you share your social links in the chat so that people can reach out to you, LinkedIn, Instagram, or anything that you wish? Or I guess I have shown the your portfolio websites. I think they can reach out to you there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just append
Yeah,
slash contact onto it, and like you'll see all my social links.
cool. I will share it in
Yeah,
the
all
chat.
those social
So
links would be present on the
yeah,
portfolio
that
website.
should be easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Cool then. Thanks a lot. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
it
for
was really
having.
fun. Yeah. Sorry, go on to that.
No, no, please go on.
Yeah, so I was just saying it was wonderful like talking about Flutter, and then just just having a conversation about Flutter was really fun, and I think we're doing this after quite a long time, and like people can get some value out of it. That'll be great.
Nice. Cool. Thank you everyone who joined today's session. Bye. See you in the next one. Stay tuned on our social media platforms so that you never miss an event from GDSCVIT. Till the next session. Bye everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.